Hey everyone, happy Saturday morning to you, and it's Time with Tiffy. Thank you so much for tuning in with me on my channel where I'm reading Bible in 1 year. Well, yesterday I just finished reading Deuteronomy chapter 32, where I read about the Song of Moses and the great things God has done for Israel, but also judgments which would come upon them for their sins. I also read about Moses going up to Mount Nebo to die. And today I am on day 63 of Bible in 1 year, so I'm going to be reading Deuteronomy chapter 33 all the way through 34. If you guys want to go get your tea, coffee, and sip while I'm reading, that would be great. I'm going to turn to Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 1 through 29. Now this is the blessing which Moses, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death. And he said, "The Lord came from Sinai and dawned on them from Seir. He shone forth from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000s of saints. From his right hand came a fiery law for them. Yes, he loves his people. All his saints are in his hand. They sit down at your feet. Everyone receives your words. Moses commanded a law for us, a heritage and the congregation of Jacob, and he was king in Jeshurun." Then the leaders of the people were gathered, and all the tribes of Israel together. "Let Reuben live and not die, nor let his men be few." And this he said to Judah, "And bring him to his people. Let his hands be sufficient for him, and may you be a help against his enemies." And of Levi he said, "Let your Thummim and your Urim be with your Holy One, whom you tested at Massah, and with whom you contended at the waters of Meribah, who says of his father and mother, 'I have not seen them,' nor did he acknowledge his brothers, or know his own children. For they have observed your word and kept your covenant. They shall teach Jacob your judgments, and Israel your law. They shall put incense before you, and a whole burnt sacrifice on your altar. Bless his substance, Lord, and accept the work of his hands. Strike the loins of those who rise against him, and of those who hate him, that they rise not again." Of Benjamin he said, "The beloved of the Lord shall dwell in safety by him, who shelters him all day long, and he shall dwell between his shoulders." And of Joseph he said, "Blessed of the Lord in his land, with his precious things of heaven, with the dew, and the deep lying beneath, with the precious fruits of the sun, with the precious produce of the months, with the best things of the ancient mountains, with the precious things of the everlasting hills, with the precious things of the earth and its fullness, and the favor of him who dwelt in the bush. Let the blessing come on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him who was separate from his brothers. His glory is like a firstborn bull, and his horns like the horns of the wild ox. Together with them he shall push the peoples to the ends of the earth. They are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh." And of Zebulun he said, "Rejoice, Zebulun, in your going out, and Issachar in your tents. They shall call the peoples to the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall partake of the abundance of the seas, and of the treasures hidden in the sand." And of Gad he said, "Blessed is he who enlarges Gad. He dwells as a lion, and tears the arm of the crown of his head. He provided the first part for himself, because a lawgiver's portion was reserved there. He came with the heads of the people. He administered the justice of the Lord, and his judgments with Israel." And of Dan he said, "Dan is a lion's whelp. He shall leap from Bashan." And of Naphtali he said, "O Naphtali, sacrifice with favor, and full of the blessing of the Lord, possess the west of the south." And of Asher he said, "Asher is most blessed of sons. Let him be favored by his brothers, and let him dip his foot in oil. Your sandals shall be iron and bronze. As your days, so shall your strength be. There is no one like the God of Jeshurun, who rides the heavens to help you. And in his excellency on the clouds, the eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. He will thrust out the enemy from before you, and will say, 'Destroy.' Then Israel shall dwell in safety, the mountain of Jacob alone. In a land of grain and new wine, his heavens shall also drop dew. Happy are you, O Israel, who is like you, a people saved by the Lord, the shield of your help, and the sword of your majesty. Your enemies shall submit to you, and you shall tread down their high places." Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 1 through 12. Then Moses went up from the plains of Moab to Mount Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, which is across from Jericho. And the Lord showed him all the land of Gilead as far as Dan, all Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and the land of Judah as far as the western sea, the south and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, as far as Zoar. Then the Lord said to him, "This is the land of which I swore to give Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, I will give it to your descendants. I have caused you to see it with your eyes, but you shall not cross over there." So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord. And he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab, opposite Beth Peor. But no one knows his grave to this day. Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eyes were not dim, nor his natural vigor diminished. And the children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days. So the days of weeping and mourning for Moses ended. Now Joshua the son of Nun was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands on him. So the children of Israel heeded him, as did the Lord had commanded Moses. But since there was not arisen in Israel a prophet like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face, and all the signs and wonders which the Lord sent him to do in the land of Egypt before Pharaoh, because all his servants and in all his land, and by that mighty power and all the great terror which Moses performed in the sight of all Israel. And tomorrow we will be in Joshua. So tune in with me again tomorrow, and we will be on day 64 of Bible in 1 Year. Well, let me know what you think about today's reading and comment below, and I will get, if you have any questions, I will get back with you as soon as possible. And thank you so much for tuning in and being here with me on Time with Tiffy. I sure do hope you enjoyed the daily reading. Please remember to join me again on my channel tomorrow, and share, comment, like, and subscribe to Time with Tiffy, where we sip on tea so flavory, eat treats so savory, and enjoy reading these books of the Bible, doing Bible in 1 year. Have a blessed day. Until next time.